there's a lot that we don't know about Asia. We've got an absolute expert here, and there's so many opportunities that might open up, new perspectives from listening to this conversation as you go back out into the world beyond ''Ŵ'' So we were having some questions, and I was like, let's style it out. So my first question for you, Keith, is, so you said you're based in Singapore.
That's right.
Yeah, and we were talking about the markets that you are open to and that you look after. So tell us a bit about you.
Right. Hey guys, I'm Keith. I am from Singapore. I am based in Singapore, born and raised in Singapore. Okay, that's enough Singapore's in a sentence. So I work in management and touring, and also I come from a world of also concerts and festivals and artist and label services. So previously I was handling the Asia Pacific region for 𝘂𝗶𝘏, and we got acquired by Downtown, and later Downtown acquired Fuga as well. So I was working across the Downtown suite of services, as we call it, with song trust and stuff. So it's everything from distribution, rights management, catalog acquisition, because back then Downtown still owned assets with Downtown Publishing before they sold it off to, get this right, Concord. And and I was with a similar company in China called Kanjian after Downtown for a while as well. And now I handle market development for this music tech company out of Korea called 𝘄𝗶𝘁. It's a fun little toy. If you want to see it, come find me after this. I'll show it to you and how it works. And I handle Southeast Asia and Australia for them.
Okay, great. So what territories in Asia other than Korea then are you looking after?
Well, specifically for 𝘄𝗶𝘁, I do Southeast Asia and Australia, but previously with Downtown, I handled 14 markets. So basically, I usually just tell people on the map on the globe, it's basically from China all the way down to New Zealand, except Japan. It adds up to 14.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we were chatting before, and some of you would have heard the India session earlier, and obviously that South Asian market is booming. Tell us about Asia and the market generally. Is there a difference in territories? Just tell us a bit more about the market.
Right. I think, specifically since this is a music tech conference, the tech side of specifically even Southeast Asia definitely saw a big boom from the 2008, 9, 10 onwards, and then basically then it's just been Singapore's just been a little bit of a hub for it's become like startup central. Basically a lot of a lot of startups come to Singapore and register to start for the reason also because I guess our country does provide a fair bit of institutional grant funding for some of these things. At the same time, it's also very close to territories around the region, like Indonesia and Philippines or Vietnam, which is very highly engaged mobile user market territories. So in terms of adoption, the speed of which you can, I guess, growth hack users, they say, as in tech, is really quick. And of course, I don't want to forget that obviously Thailand is a really big territory, both for music and tech as well these days.
Okay. I don't want to speak for these guys. This was a warm intro, a warm break in to asking questions. So who in the audience has a question? And you all each have the opportunity to have multiple questions. This is ripe ground, guys. Okay, Max, here we go.
Yeah. Hey, Keith, thank you so much for being here today. It's really nice to see you. I would love to hear your perspective on the live space in particular, and maybe how you see it differ not only between the different Eastern Asian countries, but also compared to Europe and the West in general, how it differs in all different aspects in terms of the business side, the experience in the venues, and so on.
So live space wise, if you guys were at the first panel today with the investors, when Rishi mentioned about just the sheer quantity of shows that has been happening post-COVID, yeah, it's really been like it's like starving people got overfed. Like they're not hungry no more, right? But yeah, so but at the same time, like so the flow through of the number of shows has been exponential. And obviously in terms of velocity of shows, it's probably never going to hit the number that you guys will see in UK or Europe or even North America just because of the sheer geography of where the artists actually live. But at the same time, I think, yeah, the number of shows after COVID was insane. There's pretty much at least 1.5, and I'm probably being really conservative now, 1.5 shows in Singapore a week these days, and that's unheard of, right? And when I say like a show, I mean like an artist that actually has human fans that will want to go watch them versus like my best friend playing at a bar hoping someone will go watch him, right? So, but at the same time, Rishi's not wrong. I think when you kind of like just do this like blast and spray kind of technique, not everything's going to be a hit. So at least I'll just speak for Asia in particular. Asia in particular, the top of the pile, the top level shows, meaning your arena shows and your stadium level shows, are the ones that are actually selling out because they're actually your Taylor Swifts, your Ed Sheerans, your Coldplays of the world, and anything under that from middle tier and whatever, wherever it stops, yeah, they don't sell out. Because I mean, the guy that it was starving in COVID to see shows and now wants to see shows still makes the same amount of money every month, unless he got a promotion and worked really hard during COVID, right? But otherwise, generally, they make the same amount of money and they have the same things to pay for. Inflation kicked in, interest rate dropped, so they want to pack their money aside. So, yeah, weird things that has nothing to do with money, but is stopping money from getting into the music spend. But yeah, so Live Nation basically is and post-COVID specifically, the concert promotion game over, at least in APAC, has also changed. I mean, Live Nation Live Nation has been in the region for a long time, but Live Nation pre-COVID were slowly starting up shop across the region. So they were working on a different arrangement previously. So previously, that's a really long answer, right? Previously,
interesting.
It was all like they do co-present shows. A co-present would be Live Nation and insert name of local promoter presents Madonna, whoever, right? And then these days they do have an office in Singapore, and I think they still kept their office in Hong Kong. Of course, they have an office in China, and they're setting up offices across the region. So they're doing it on their own, and because they have the on-ground ability now, so it's like a machine gun. It's just non-stop. So they don't win on every show for sure, but they're winning on the biggest ones. And for them, because they're publicly traded, I can't speak a lot for them, so I should stop talking about that. But the logic is, I think the logic is just publicly made available and known is that, I mean, look, you're a publicly traded company, so therefore you have to appear like you're doing stuff, right? So there are a couple of boxes to check: activity and just don't lose too bad, right? So their big shows are helping them stay above the water. Yeah, 80% of their shows don't sell out. Yeah, at least.
Has that answered your question? More than. Yeah, all right. So anyone want to build on that or have another question completely unrelated? Yes, that's why you're here.
Thank you. Hello. So yeah, my question is about like localization. So I have an international product. So I've co-founded Quest TV with Quincy Jones like 8 years ago.
Nice.
It's a video streaming platform dedicated to, let's say, great black music. So jazz, soul, funk. So mainly live musicians. Mm-hmm. And my strategy. So I'm based in Paris. I'm French. Mm-hmm. And my strategy is like, because of this music, this specific music, we are not going to the mainstream local artists because, you know, every country has their own local star and big star, but us, it's more like when you think about like, I don't know, like Marcus Miller or Herbie Hancock, it's international. And of course, I would love, so my main market is right now US, UK, Germany, France. And I would love to go to Asia because I know that there is some appeal on, specifically in Korea for black music and Japan.
You're not wrong.
And I've tried to go to Japan. So we did a launch, like it was just, I think it was February 2020.
Yeah.
So just
Wow.
before, wow.
you picked a great date.
Yeah. And it was super complicated because you know, like having the Japan is like it was it's another world.
Yep.
And I didn't have enough resources and funding to really build a local team with like an office there. So I did that from France. With, of course, I have an office in France and in LA because of Quincy, but and it was a fail. So 1 year after I just cut this territory, and now it's like, do you think I need to specifically for Korea, for example, I need to find local artists or ambassador or something that, or do you think like international content could come there? Like my question is like how to penetrate to reach this audience and to go to that market, to that kind of market.
So I have a couple of questions. One, so let me get this so I understand this right. So these are all like live concert videos, right?
Live concert
But
videos,
of
documentaries, and we
like
are like everything is in
black
English.
type music,
Yeah.
R&B, soul, hip hop stuff.
Exactly.
And what's the delivery format? Is it a web app,
It's
browser, and or mobile app?
Yeah, mobile, everything, mobile app and web app. So it's an SVOD, like Netflix of that
Right.
kind of music.
Right.
Let's say that.
And currently, wherever you guys are serving it up, is it a subscription-based model?
Yes.
What's the price point?
10 euros, like in Europe mainly, $10 in the US
A month,
per month.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the reason and you're absolutely right. Korea and Japan, interestingly enough, does have a huge fan base for, I guess, what people label as black type music, right?
Yeah.
Specifically like the R&B stuff and all that. That is why there's a couple of billboards in Japan, Billboard Lives in Japan, and they book a lot of like R&B acts, and a lot of R&B acts play in Korea. And well, I don't know if it makes you feel better, but when you did your launch in 2020 and that funny thing called a pandemic happened, might have saved you guys some money. Just because you can't. So Japan, let's start with Japan. I just don't think, again, never say never, there are always exceptions, but I just don't think it's easy to just remote control market development in Japan. You really have to set up shop and work the ground over there. So that's why I say it might have saved you some money. Right? You guys might have been led to start an office and stuff up, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, not that you wouldn't or don't want to. So I think it's that. And then for Korea, well, because your personal opinion could be totally wrong, but I just think because your content is so specific, I think it's just easier for you to just do a license or partnership deal with one of the platforms there. So basically do an Amazon/Disney Plus whatever pickup added feature in there, and it's a lot easier. And you don't even have to set up shop. They'll put you across the territories, right, where it's suitable, right, as an add-on, right? If the matrix and the money makes sense, right? The structure makes sense. Mm-hmm. Because style-specific stuff, unless you're really going to work it, it's really costly. You're better off licensing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. No, thank you.
I feel.
Yeah. I was thinking like big operator, like a mobile operator or cable operator.
So yes,
they have the audience.
Yes,
so
to all that.
Yeah.
So basically, either you do a telco partnership or you do a platform partnership. But I think a platform partnership is probably more suited to your business. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah. Cool.
Everything.
Thank you. Yes.
My favorite color is blue. Next. Kidding. Kidding.
So we talked a lot about Japan and we talked a lot about Korea. So my question is actually about China. So I'm actually from Bangkok, Thailand.
Yeah.
When you
Hey,
mentioned
𝘊𝘵𝘂.
𝘨𝘶𝘂𝗵. So I worked for TikTok, ByteDance in China for 3 years, and I lived in Shanghai and traveled a lot and also learned the language. And what's been really fascinating for me is like the rules for breaking out as a musician in like Japan or Korea, or any other part of the world, it almost gets flipped upside down when you go into China. It's like you're entering this alternate reality where like gravity works differently because the streaming platforms
There's no gravity.
is not right. It's like
zero gravity.
it's not Spotify. Everyone's on NetEase or everyone's on Tencent Music. Whatever metrics you have on Instagram doesn't matter because everyone's on Douyin and 𝘬𝘯𝘁𝗵𝘄. You know, you might have a website, but people in China don't access websites. Everything is through WeChat. So from your perspective, you know, seeing across like the 14 different places that you have visibility of, like what are the success stories of someone from outside China being able to break into the Chinese market, and similarly reverse, like a Chinese artist actually being able to break out? Because I feel like from living there, it almost feels like I enter this alternate universe and then like I'm in a certain ecosystem, and then when I leave China, I come back into like a different, and I'm like, oh yeah, gravity's back, you know, or something like that. I'd love your thoughts and experience on that.
Well, yeah, what he says is 100% true. When you go to China, you don't just have to learn a new language. You just have to learn a new name for everything you know. So, like, I mean, that's definitely been success stories. Weirdly enough, even for English-speaking music and stuff like that. But of course, the most obvious one, it's probably a really, really old reference, but people probably know this the best, so I'll just use that as the example. 𝘊𝘶 Brothers out of China, right? They're signed by this label in LA called 88 Rising that's started by a bunch of Asian people that are really good at making content. So they were the first big like Chinese group, and so here's subset of a subset of a subset, right? They're from China, not even Shanghai or Beijing. They're from Shenzhen. But it's also one of the biggest cities, but not the two that people always talk about. And they're signed to a US label, and it's rap. So, man, it's not even singing. I mean, it's not even like pop music. It's rap, man. So it's subset of a subset of a subset. But it shows that it can be done. But it also shows that it just means that the strategy has to be tailored, right? So ironically, for 𝘊𝘶 Brothers or any equivalent these days, it's the reverse. They have to spend money servicing their music on platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, I guess in Europe, Deezer, and any other music platform, all the music platforms in Korea, and any and all other, and if they want to make it in North America, internet radio and stuff like that, Sirius FM and stuff like that, right? So for them, the strat was, it was both. It was reverse plus, because they already had the Chinese platform. So basically, if you know and love TikTok, it's just, if you say TikTok in China, nobody knows what that means, right? But it's called Douyin, and it's made by the same company. So don't worry, you don't have to deal with a different, well, you technically deal with a different, it feels like you're dealing with a different company, but it's made by the same people, right? But engine-wise, what's under the hood, DNA, kind of similar. But yeah, so they already had the China play going, the platforms and stuff, and obviously that's how they got discovered. But then for their strat it's basically like, which is very much 88 Rising strat, it's very YouTube driven, right? Because they do content, fire up the videos, right? So in reverse, there are artists that, subset of a subset again. So there are a lot of artists that are big in China. For example, like I'll use a European artist, Alan Walker. So Alan Walker is reverse EDM. So EDM artists all figured it out pretty quickly. that they needed to, they are like killing it on Spotify and all your favorite music streaming service. And then they started getting like putting out localized content on Douyin, on WeChat. So all of them all have official WeChat channels. Back then there wasn't like 小红书, you guys got RedNote. You guys call RedNote. Back 小红书 just became a life raft for the world when they decided to switch off TikTok in the US for a couple hours or a day, right? So but yeah, so back then there wasn't 小红书, so it's always Weibo. Weibo is Chinese Twitter. And then so the strat was Weibo, Douyin, WeChat. And the thing is that, so sounds like, okay, go register for an account later after this talk, right? But you can't, because I don't know if I need to go double check on about Douyin, but I know that WeChat you still can't. You need a local number and local address, so to get an official account. So therefore, you need to use a local like PR marketing agency to get all that stuff out. But they also help you with the localizing of the content. So think of it as like, if you wanted to do, if you're in Europe, you want to do something in North America, you probably hire a North American publicist. Same deal. Yeah, so that's just for China specifically. And EDM is also not pop. It's like a subset of a subset. But strat is the same. It's just that pop is a lot harder.
Yeah. Can I ask a follow-up, or should I send it over to someone else first? So it's really, like, I think 𝘓𝘶 Brothers is a fantastic example.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was in Shanghai, there was like a sort of a conversation group with people who work in media, talking about like, can Chinese artists like break out into other parts of the world? I'm kind of curious from your perspective about sort of like how geopolitics kind of cloud the world of musicians and art. And I don't know, but basically, like, if you think about, so you mentioned like 𝘓𝘶 Brothers, for example, being signed to a U.S. label and predominantly making a style of music that is very, very known to like the U.S. market, which is rap. I mean, the heart, you know, the birthplace of rap is from the U.S. And if you think about like art, like K-pop, for example, K-pop having a huge influence in the States, especially like recently with like Blackpink and globally. But I also feel like, you know, Korea and Japan are very, very strong, like U.S. allies, for example. And I wonder, like, does this play a part? Like, if there was the equivalent of a Blackpink from China, musically, you know, everything is like sort of coming in the same. But it's just they can't make it beyond a certain point simply because of where we are in the world with geopolitics. Do you see that as sort of potentially being something that would affect China compared to some of the other places that you've that you have visibility of? Yeah.
Well, for starters, politics has always superseded any and all strategy. It's happened for the longest time. It's not new as well. But obviously, these days, it's probably taken a little bit more active approach in whatever we're doing here. Oh, and just to give part B to my answer just now, so just so that you know that I'm not using like super duper big names only. So there are examples now of like a lot of like K-hip hop, Korean hip hop. Yeah, they have super amount of fans in China, and they tour in China. Our friend that does touring for like hip hop acts, Chinese and Korean, does all that, and they play festivals and they sell out. They're doing great. So that's an example of like another country getting into China, and they rap in Korean, not even Chinese kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, so that's a little bit weird as well. But then again, these days the acceptable global languages are English, Korean, and Latin, right? Or Spanish, right? Yeah. So I mean, who would think that 20 years ago or 25 years ago that if the song has Spanish words in it, it will be played on English radio, right? So I consider Korean language a global accepted culture right now. So actually, then to answer your question, this and I think this still stands. Ironically, K-pop is banned in China. So yeah, so that's why your Blackpinks or your BTS and all that cannot play in China. We we keep saying it's currently banned in China. We keep adding currently because we live in hope, but we don't know when that ends. But yeah, and that's a government decision. That's a CCP decision, right? So, yeah, so it will always be that way. And as long as, and China's quite binary that way, right? I mean, the moment something happens on the political front, they can flip the switch on something, right? So, yeah, so, but then again, we make China sound so dangerous. Then again, it's not, right? It's really huge. So well, here's something positive for you. So China has over 1 billion people. Exact number, okay, let's just say it's equivalent to India 1.5, right? They're about 1.4, 1.5. So everybody just always says China, right? They see the whole plot of land, or maybe they spun the globe and picked the biggest plot of land, right? But the thing is that I think you should see China broken down into a couple of categories and tiers. Look, which you'll be very familiar with. Look, there are 4 tier 1 cities in China. Is Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, right? And then and I'm not categorizing them myself. They are the ones that are saying it. So there's tier 1 cities, tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities, right? So you don't necessarily like say you can say, yeah, we're going to break out in China, but where? So you really have to work your way down. You start with the tier 1 cities because that's the most like, you will get the fastest velocity and traction, and they're probably a little bit more logical and written rules. And then once you start getting to the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, it's like, where are the rules? I want to read them, right? So yeah, so it starts getting a bit that way. But the other city that I kind of like right now is Chengdu. Chengdu has grown so much over the years. Chengdu is a tier 2 city now, and it's typically known as like a working city. It's like a blue-collar working city, but it's actually starting to become known as a little bit of an entertainment hub in China. So I do think that is something to be looked at if you are in a space, if you are a direct-to-consumer kind of thing, just because your job is not to categorize, your job is just to find people that want to be engaged for if you have a direct-to-consumer thing, right? So yeah, politics still does play a part. But hey, and weirdly enough, the hip-hop can get in, but pop can't. So who knows? Right. Like I say, China has zero gravity, but at the same time, it's not closed off to the world. It's pretty open for business. And at 1.5 million people, 1.5 billion people, you really don't need 1.5 billion. Honestly. Yeah. Even if you tell people I have a 10% success rate in China, you are killing it. Right? So, yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Really, really insightful.
Oh, thanks, man.
Great questions, great answers. Who's next? Yeah, go for it. I'm going to check the time because we are flying and we'll forget the wrap-up because this is so amazing.
You had mentioned earlier when talking about breaking into China specifically that often people will hire a PR agency that's there to do the work. I was just curious as a quick question, like what the structure looks like that. So say I'm Alan Walker and I have my management team and they hire US publicists. Am I hiring another management team to then kind of manage my China PR agencies? Or are they just you keep your centralized management team and they then go out and find agencies in China or whatever country to then run the groundwork?
So yes and no. Yes. So let's go with no first. No is that like all your Taylor Swifts of the world or Alan Walker for that matter, you can just hire a marketing agency out of China and just manage them that way. And most of these marketing agencies that are working with international clients all have someone or couple of people in there that speak English. So not an issue. So that's no. Yes is that there are a couple of situations where certain artists have co-managed arrangements. So therefore they do take on Chinese management, or maybe not even Chinese management. Because these days with streaming, you can carve out territories in your distribution. I'll just use artists specifically, but it can apply to products as well. But these days with streaming, you can carve out your territories of the world. So if they sign with a Chinese label that has all the infrastructure in-house to work it for them, that works as well. But it's still managed by management. Or unless they're selling the catalog over there. So for products, for products, it's the same. So you could actually have a partner or distributor there, and you're still managing them. Yeah. Yeah.
I have a quick question. Is someone else? It's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Who would you say is an incredibly cool artist from Asia that we might be sleeping on that we don't know about?
Genre.
You can take
Every
it
genre
any way
has
you want.
one cool
I mean,
one.
okay.
So I think,
Yeah.
well,
I mean, I like electronic,
Okay.
but, you know, take it any way you want.
so electronic music, China
Yeah.
has a lot of like cool, has a cool
And not
like
just China.
subculture
I mean, China or anywhere in
in the
Asia.
world.
In Asia.
In Asia?
In Asia. Yeah.
Um,
But we can do China.
I'll shout out a few.
We can do China, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll shout out a few.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have specific names for China subculture,
Yeah.
house techno people, but those they're really cool, and I know that they are definitely like taking initiative to kind of like play shows outside of China.
Who?
I don't have specific names
Oh,
though.
oh.
But
So
I'll
anywhere,
okay, I'll shout out a few.
Singapore, Japan.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
the rap queen of Japan, 𝘬𝘁𝘁𝗵, she's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Cool.
Rap girl that's super hot in Thailand right now, 𝘊𝘵. She just got
Millie.
she's signed with 88 Rising, so she's super duper cool and big.
Yeah.
Suboi in Vietnam, of course. How could I forget her? The rap queen of Vietnam, Suboi. And we're not naming all girls. Let's name some guys, man. Hey, diversity, inclusion. Okay, so who do I think is good? Okay, cool. I got one for you.
Yeah.
Sky is your god from China.
Sky.
Sky is so SKAISYOURGOD, one word. He's super big right now. Like everyone's trying to book him. So, okay. So, interestingly enough, Taiwan and China obviously have some issues, but their artists can go play in each other's countries. So that's kind of cool. And Sky is your god's from China, but he just made my friend a lot of money. He just sold out. They put out his show for sale. It was like 1,800 tickets in Taipei. Sold out in 2 days. They added a second show, sold out in a week. Yeah. So he's killing it right now. We're naming all rappers, huh? I should name some. Oh, okay. Sky is your SKAI. For DJ, I got a shout out one from Singapore then. 𝘊𝘵. MY. I should know how to spell. MYRNE. 𝘊𝘵. So yeah, he's playing a lot in LA. Yeah, you know, right? He's playing a lot with the Manila Killer Crew and those guys. Yeah, yeah, Brownies and Lemonade Crew. Yeah, he's with Well, he has a couple of releases out. So Matt Decent, Monster Cat, name it, he's all on that. Yeah, I think that. Anybody else interesting? Oh, 𝘊𝘆 from Vietnam. 𝘊𝘆. I'm probably butchering the 𝘊𝘆𝘆𝘆. Okay, Korea. There's a lot. There's a lot of cool like rappers like 𝘂𝑐, like 𝘠𝘂𝑐. Yeah, things like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I throw one out from Indonesia?
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's.
There's an artist called 𝗨𝘆𝘆𝘆𝘆 that I really like from Indonesia.
Oh yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
Not in the rap style. It's more like
Yeah.
it's like electronic R&B.
Okay, and then one like not so like secret name that you have to be in Asia to know, but I think G-Dragon's really cool and he's putting out new music again and touring again, so go see him if you can.
And there's 𝘊𝘆𝘆𝘆, very Chinese, I guess, but from a music, like they're doing like making electronic music with like a nomadic psychedelic
𝘊𝘆𝘆?
𝘊𝘆𝘆, and they like from
Yeah. There's that. Okay, I'll give you guys a Mongolian band, 𝘬𝘁𝘁, Mongolian band. So they're like Mongolian metal with that throat singing stuff and all that thrown in. So like, doesn't get better than that. Then there's this band that a friend of mine works with from India. I'll throw one in for India. 𝘠𝘁𝘏𝑜od. 𝘠𝘁𝑜d's and 𝘠𝘁𝘏𝑜d played Lola. Yeah, they've been touring a lot. And then for Taiwan, Sunset Roller Coaster. Yeah, and then from China or Taiwan? I need to confirm it. No Party for Caodong. Sorry?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah. So fun story about No Party for Caodong. They're a Chinese band, right? But they sold out the Spotify O in Tokyo. It's crazy. Yeah. So they're like they own everything still. So they're independently. They run their own ship themselves. They have two managers. One that only speaks Chinese. One that speaks English and Chinese. Yeah. Because they need an English-speaking person because they're touring a lot now. And No Party for Caodong is one of those bands I tell people that they can play anywhere in the world with, as long as there's Chinese people, they probably know who they are. Yeah.
Is there like any
Mike?
Oh yeah, thank you.
I was just wondering, I'm an artist too, based in France. I was born in France. And now I just created a collective or Asian descent artist in France. And we were wondering if there is like any possibilities to build bridges between like Asian artists and Asian descent artists in Western countries or France or whatever. Like, do you know something that already happened or whatever?
Can I
a program or something?
What's your...
I mean, is there any program or whatever that build connections between Asian descent artists in France, for instance, or Western countries and Asian artists in Asia?
Yeah. Are you French nationality?
Yeah.
And I know it's a funny question. Is what your race is?
I'm half Chinese, quarter Vietnamese, quarter Lao.
Quarter?
Lao, from Laos.
Lao. Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. So, if you're French, the good news for you is your French export office works really hard for you out there, man. So you actually have a cultural export office. So they actually do a lot of bridging and cultural plans, and they partner up with a lot of showcase festival in the region. Yeah. So you have to get in touch with your embassy. Sounds like you're running away from the country. Get in touch with your embassy. No, you have to, and then try and talk to your cultural office because they actually do this kind of programs. Yeah. The two countries that do it a lot in Asia are the French and the British. But British do it under British Council. Yeah. So British Council actually takes out a lot of trade missions. I believe your guy in France, in Paris, is Benjamin.
Yeah, I know him. I mean, from that way, I know it. But from the other way, I mean, from Asia to France.
So the other way around, I mean, if it's not through cultural exchange, then I think it's just the good old collapse and the usual way of how people cross over, right? And or just keep writing good music, making good music, but strategically sign with a label that's not in your market, that works the market that you want to go to best.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's 5:30. The wrap-up is at 5:45. Anyone got any... Have you got any more questions? Have you had all yours answered? You're going to conquer
she has
good in the right way. Perfect.
Thank you. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you for everything first.
Thank you.
Looking at the trend in the live industry, what are the trends these days? And with immersive venues and, for example, machine learning, new technology, is there any trends coming? Or I don't know. Broad question.
I think for live specifically, I think we'll see more AR, XR, and also kind of like more wearables being used in shows. I mean, I guess Coldplay is one of the more famous examples using wearables and low power Bluetooth, right? So I think those are the three key areas that we'll see more of. And the more it's done, then the price point comes down, and then more artists can afford it to do it in their shows. And also the ability, the flexibility to scale that product or service, where it's not just for arenas and stadiums, but it can be done in theaters or maybe even unconventional venues, would help. Yeah, as for AI and machine learning, I think it's probably proportional and equal to anywhere in the world. For a lot of the, I mean, obviously we hope that AI, machine learning and blockchain would help solve copyright management in the long run. But I just think that that is also a bit naive to believe that as long as we build it, it will solve it, because the music industry is probably more political than we think. So yeah, so it's a combination of education, convincing adoption, and then the solution can be used, I feel, at least. But specifically for any service or product, here's some stats, since everybody at the tech conference likes stats. Like, I think unless you're like a dashboard SaaS service, then and web is fine, but otherwise you should be looking at mobile or tablet. And here's some fun stats. Indonesia alone is probably, I think the number has probably gone up, but I'm just going to use a semi-old stat that I know at least it will be correct. It's 120+% mobile penetration. So basically, people that have owned more than one phone, probably both platforms, or same platform, up to the guy. I don't judge. I like Apple. But yeah, so and then Vietnam, mobile penetrations numbers are going up as well, and I believe Thailand's mobile penetration percentage is super high as well. So I'm talking about and Philippines, of course, right? So I'm talking about the 4 biggest populations in Southeast Asia. So if you want a growth hack fast, those are the places to push. And also, but the challenge there is, of course, always transaction, payment, taking the money. It's really hard to get the money, not because they don't want to pay you, but because they don't have the same payment infrastructure that you and I are so familiar with, which is like credit card, just for the simple fact of credit cards, or even debit cards, because that doesn't really exist. But mobile payment is very mature in a lot of these markets, specifically China. A lot of people in China don't have credit cards, but they will gladly do Alipay, WeChat Pay, all that for you. Like, they were on QR code pay way before COVID made it possible, made us do it, right? So, but for Indonesia and all, but all's not lost. I do believe in those markets like your Vietnam, Indonesia, Thailand. If it's a direct-to-consumer product, your best bet is actually a telco partnership. So, because a lot of them do telco billing there, so, and it's all packaged together in it. But at the same time, if you can, which I think that's a problem that I think crypto can solve. If it's made legal, just the protocol, but then it will involve using the coins, which a lot of governments over there are a little bit wary of. But yeah, so I think those are the key stats to keep in mind when pushing anything out there.